Hey yo, everybody said that this song has relevancy right now. I remember when this song came out, or when this album came out, this is clearly one of the songs I remember that solidified in my mind that the production choices on the album were terrible. Lyrically amazing, production-wise awful. I remember listening to it twice to give it a second chance, and I remember that I didn't like it either time, so I haven't heard this song in almost 3.5 years. Roll it. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Channel's name is TheThirdErnest. I'm Ernest Adiano III. Y'all guys are the third family. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing at the end of the video if you like what you see. Now, like I said in the intro, and on this channel, if you've been here long enough, it's well documented that I do not like Revival. I like a couple of the songs on the album. Some of them hit hard, but most of the production choices, in my personal opinion, are awful. And that frustrated me because lyrically and concept and song-wise and subject matter-wise, it's Eminem's best album to date. If you read the songs a cappella to me, it would rival that of Marshall Mathers LP. And personally, I believe Marshall Mathers LP and Eminem Show are his two best albums. But again, I haven't heard the song in 3 years, and because of that, I completely forgot what it's about, to the point where everybody was saying, do Untouchable by Eminem. It's relevant right now because of everything that's going on in the media and in the news and riots and police brutality and all that. I was like, are we thinking about the same song? Like, I didn't even remember the lyrics enough to remember what it was about. Obviously, with everybody hinting at it, I know it's about police brutality and injustice and all those kind of things, but I honestly don't remember the song at all, other than the rock sound and me not liking that. So I'm excited to see what I don't remember. So follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel. Links are down in the description below. And we got Untouchable by Eminem. I got the lyric video up because obviously I've heard the song, I just don't remember the subject matter. And if there's some lyrics that are incorrect, which with Eminem records there's bound to be, I'll try to make sure I hear the right thing. But let's get it.
Black boy, we ain't gonna lie to you.
Yo, even just the intro, like, it's important that people make that distinction, that one person is not gonna understand what the other person is going through, especially when it comes to race relations, especially when it comes to the relations that they have with law enforcement. People that think that people are making shit up just for the sake of making shit up and saying that there's no difference between how the cops or how people view other people is ignorant. Open your mindset, try to step in the other person's shoes and realize that you don't even know what that person goes through, even if you try to view it from their point of view, because it's a relentless every single day. It's a feeling that they have every single day. You only have to have it whenever you're thinking about it from their point of view. And I feel like with George Floyd's passing, I feel like that's something that a lot of people are recognizing now. We might not ever understand what you're going through, but I can at least have empathy toward that situation.
Black boy, we ain't gonna lie to you. Black boy, we don't like the sight of you. Pull up on the side of you, window roll down profile, then we wonder why we see this side of you.
4 bars in and we're starting with the wordplay like that, with the double meanings and double entendres. Black boy, we ain't gonna lie to you. We don't like the side of you. We're obviously speaking from the view of the police right here. Pull up on the side of you, window roll down profile, then we wonder why we see this side of you, bro. Like literally the profile of your face, like they see the profile because you're rolling down the window and they only see the left side, but also profile, like they racially profile you and come up with something in their head that they don't even know is true or not yet. And because you know that they are gonna racial profile you, you get tense and you get defensive and you get angry, and then they're basically saying, I wonder why I see this side of you. Like literally see the side, but also see this side, see the emotion coming out, this side of you. Triple entendre, bro. 4 bars into the song. This motherfucker. And yeah, for sure, I remember not liking this song at all because of the production. The electric guitar, I just didn't like the choice. But this is what I'm talking about when I said it was lyrically complex, lyrically one of his best albums, but just bad production in my opinion.
Then we wonder why we see this side of you. Probably coming from the dope house. We can let you slide, but your tail light is blue. Out. We know you're hiding that hidey clue on you. Another drug charge, homie, it's back inside for you. And just
You're hiding that Heidi Klum on you. You're hiding that white girl, which is another slang word for cocaine. Lil Dicky says it in one of the songs when he's literally the song is called Cocaine, probably coming from the dope house. So there's the racial profiling, and we're only pulling you over just because we have suspicion and your tail light is blue, so that gives us a reason to pull you over. And it's back inside for you, like you've come out, like you're back in prison. You're someone who's really rehabilitated, and we're putting you back in for a fucking tail light.
And that Heidi Klum on you, another drug charge, homie. It's back inside for you. And just in case the chase might is so we got the trident, two pistols to right at you. We'd be delighted to unload it in your back and walk up and lay that taser on the side of you. Fucked up, what the fuck am I to do? I keep telling myself, keep doing.
Yo, man, just the rhyme scheme. And the rhyme scheme starts all the way back at the back inside for you line. Inside for you, might ensue, tried and true, drew right at you, delighted to, side of you, fuck am I to do? Yo, that's bars. And again, they're pulling their guns when they don't need to, only because they came up with a predetermined disposition, just because of the color of the person's skin that they're pulling over.
Fucked up, what the fuck am I to do? I keep telling myself, keep doing like you're doing. No matter how many lives you ruined, it's for the red, white, and blue. Time to go find a new one and split his head right in two. No one's ever indicted you. Why? Cause you're a white boy, you're a rock star.
Yo, I forgot about the Cheech and Chong sample. The Cheech and Chong sample is fire, but I just don't like the production of the hook. I remember the hook now. It's like a chant, white boy, you're a rock star. I remember that now. But he's basically this whole verse speaking from the side of the police, talking about how, like, I know that what I'm doing is wrong, but I'm gonna tell myself it's right, and I'm gonna say that I'm doing it for the red, white, and blue. Like I'm cleaning up the streets, even though I know that's not what I'm doing. I'm just racial profiling people. And no one's ever indicted you as the cop. You get off innocent whenever you kill somebody because you're a cop, and you can twist the story in whatever direction you want, especially after the fact. So in the court of law, the person who's dead obviously can't say his side of the defense. And until body cams and camcorders and cell phones and the internet being able to upload right then and there, the world might not even realize that some people's deaths were definitely caused by racism. And yes, I know white people die by the guns of cops more so than black people do. Common sense just tells you there's more white people in the United States, so obviously that number is going to be higher. But if you bring everything to a statistical evenness, pound for pound, it's not the same. And again, we're not trying to get you into defensive status by saying Black Lives Matter only. We're trying to let you know, like, hey, Black Lives Matter too. So put away your emotional defenses and try to learn exactly why we're saying what we're saying.
In your cop car, I don't listen to it 'cause my head is like a sieve. White boy, you're untouchable. It's coming to an end, I don't even care. Nobody can tell me shit 'cause I'm a big rock star.
Yeah, see that hook? Fucking hate it. Even the Cheech and Chong sample, it's cool that it's done, but like, I just hate it. That's all there is to it. It's just not a good hook.
Black boy, we don't get your culture and we don't care what our government's done to fuck you over, man. Don't tell us your attitudes are results of that. Boulder Dash when you get the chip on your shoulder ad. Why you kicking that?
What the hell is balderdash? I'm gonna have to look that up. Balderdash is senseless talk or writing nonsense. Bro, how does he even know that word? He's basically saying, don't tell us your attitude is a result of all of the setbacks that our country has done to you. That's balderdash. That's just nonsense. You're just saying that as a cop-out. God damn, M. That's a bar just for the word selection. That's one of those words where, like, you learn a word for the first time, a big-ass word, and you're just waiting to spring it out on somebody whenever the time is right. Boy's been waiting 20 years to rhyme balderdash with something. But he's saying we don't get your culture and we don't care what the government has done to fuck you over. Like, basically, we don't know anything about you. We have a predetermined disposition on who you are. So that's what we're going with, as opposed to opening our minds and showing empathy and trying to learn about you and where you come from and why you have this animosity and scaredness and timidness toward police officers or the government in general, you know?
Boulder Dash when you get the chip on your shoulder ad. Why you kicking that soda can? Pull your pants up, we bout to roll a band. Throw your ass in the band car. You don't have to know our plans or what our intentions are. Our cards are close to our chest, you better show your hands.
Our cards are close to our chest, like we got an ace up our sleeve, but you better show your hands, like show your hands out of the car, but also show your hands like in poker, you show your poker hand. That's a fire ass line. He said we about to roll up and throw your ass in the van handcuffed and you don't even gotta know what our plans are or what our intentions are. We have the right to detain you for 48 hours.
Show your hands! And put our minds more at ease. You get shot in the thyroid, comply or die, boy. We're fighting a crime war, here come the swine. Trying to clean up the streets from all these minorities. That's what we call them.
Here come the swine, we're fighting a crime warrior. Here come the pigs. Pigs is a derogatory nickname for cops.
Trying to clean up the streets from all these minorities. That's what we call them pigsties for. They're like eyesores, the police. Talk to like
God damn, Em, you piece of shit. He said we're trying to clean up the streets from all the minorities. That's why we call them pigsties, because that's what you call a room that's like extremely dirty. Like your parents come in, your fucking room is a pigsty, clean this shit up. But also pigsties, they're like eyesores to police, bro. Like eyesore, like literally a sty, S-T-Y-E. It's like that little bump you get on your eye. God damn, that's a fucking bar. Who even comes up with that shit? Here come the swine trying to clean up the streets from all these minorities. That's why we call them pigsties. Swine, pig, pigsties. For all the eyesores, styes, eyesore to police. Police, pig. God damn. There was no way I could let that one go any further than right there before I paused it.
That's what we call them pigsties for. They're like eyesores, the police. Talk to like you're just a piece of trash. Feels like we're stuck in a time warp to me. As I kick these facts and get these mixed reactions. As this beat backspins, it's like we're drifting back in to the 60s. Having black skin is risky, cause this keeps happening. Throughout history, African Americans.
Hold up. The boy said, we feel like we're stuck in a time warp, like we're going backwards in time, 1 foot forward, 2 step back with all the racial profiling. But he also said, as I kick these facts and get these mixed reactions, definitely got mixed reactions on the line in the sand, on that Donald Trump freestyle that he did. Obviously mixed reactions. As this beat backspins, it's like we're drifting back into the 60s because having black skin is risky. And literally the beat is backspinning. Like the beat is going backwards. You can hear it in the background, like whoop, whoop, whoop. That's like the tried and true sound that a beat is going backwards. But damn, everything about this is going backwards. That's fire.
Throughout history, African Americans have been treated like shit, and I admit there have been times where it's been embarrassing to be a white boy, you're a rock star. White boy.
If any white dude is like, if he has the ability to speak on what it feels like being a minority, I feel like it would be Eminem. Only because he's had to fight that uphill ass battle his entire life. 8 Mile Detroit, obviously extremely poor area in Detroit. The only white kid at school, or the one that was bullied the most. But then also in his rap career, since the very beginning, he's had to fight the fact that he is a legitimate MC. He is a legitimate lyricist, one of the best of all time. But he's always had to fight the fact that his record sales are as big as they are because of his skin color. So it's like he knows what it feels like to be on the receiving end of unjust judgment for basically his entire life and his entire career. People to this day still try to dismiss him as a true hip-hop legend because of the fact that he's white. And obviously I'm not saying his struggle in the rap game to be solidified as the GOAT is the same thing as police brutality against African Americans or George Floyd's death or anybody like that. It's obviously not the same. But in the world that he's in, it's comparable to this outside world, this sad state of affairs that we find ourselves in. Damn, we're not even halfway through the song yet. This is about to be a long ass video.
In your cop car.
I don't listen to it 'cause my head is like a sieve.
White boy, you're untouchable.
The world's coming to an end, I don't even care.
Nobody can tell me shit 'cause I'm a
big rock star.
I even gave the hook, I was gonna fast forward the hook right here, but I gave it a second chance. Hate that shit. Like fucking undoubtedly hate the fucking hook. Oh, you know what? I got the perfect example as to why this song's production and this song's beat selection is shit. Because this song literally got zero love on something that is an extremely sensitive and extremely important topic because of the beat selection. Now, if you compare that to Darkness, which is another American controversial topic, that song like blew the fuck up. It got way, I mean, it was obviously a single as well, but it got way more views. And that's because the production of Darkness, the hook of Darkness is so much better.
Seems like the average lifespan of a white man is more than twice than a black lifespan. I wonder sometimes if it has a price scanner. I feel like checking out on life can escape the circumstance. I'd rather hear him.
I'd rather check out on life. I wonder if life has a price scanner. Like you check out at the grocery store, but also mentally checked out like you're no longer here. And I do remember this part of the song, this breakdown. I remember it being very choppy, which is, again, not very, at least to my ear, not very pleasing.
Feel like checking out on life can escape the circumstance. I'd rather hear him say die inward than die inward. Ninja, now it's better disguised.
I'd rather hear them say die N-word. I'd rather hear them say that than die Ant-word, which is like he's had a beef with that group, their hip hop group from South Africa. He mentioned it a couple of times. I think he mentioned it in this most recent album, if I'm not mistaken. And Ninja is one of the artists in the group.
Ninja, now it's better disguised banter, but that's life. Strapped cause we're strapped financially and can't find answers. We're applying, but McDonald's seems to be the only franchise that'll hire, so how can we have higher standards? It's Dallas.
Bro, the wordplay. McDonald's is the only franchise that'll hire us, so how can we have higher standards? Like hire an employee, but also higher standards? But we can't have higher standards because it seems like this oppressive ceiling is like way lower than most. And again, don't shoot the messenger. If this is not what you personally believe, I really don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you what he's saying. Write a sternly worded email to Eminem. Eminem, I still don't give a fuck what you have to say at gmail.com. But he says we're strapped because we're strapped financially and we can't find any answers. Like we carry the piece, we carry the tool, we carry the strap because we're strapped financially. We're in the lowest tier of economic status. And it's a proven statistical trend that the lower the economic status, the higher the crime rate. But you don't want to learn about that, do you? You don't want to learn why we carry the strap. You don't want to learn why we feel like selling drugs is the last resort. You just want to keep whatever idea you have of us in your mind so that way you feel better about what's happening to us.
We're applying, but McDonald's seems to be the only franchise that'll hire, so how can we have higher standards? As Dallas overshadows the battle for Black Lives Matter, we fight back with violence but acts like that.
And by the way, in case you don't know what he's talking about right there, Dallas overshadows the battle for Black Lives Matter. When this album came out, like right before it, Dallas had a mass shooter and he happened to be black, like one of the first one ever. And he's saying that was overshadowing the Black Lives Matter movement that was happening at that time because it gave people a cop out to say, oh, look, y'all are saying Black Lives Matter, but here comes a black dude that's shooting everybody he sees. And so our lives don't matter too. So that kind of took the Black Lives Matter movement backwards along with radical members of the Black Lives movement. Like it provided a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths at that time. Back then it seemed like it was coming from anger, and now this time it seems like it's coming much more from a place of pain. Like, damn man, how many times do we have to plead and how many times do we have to say that Black Lives Matter just as much as everybody else's? And I think that's part of the reason why the acceptance and like the understanding of the Black Lives Matter movement has a lot more traction right now than it did back then.
As Dallas overshadows the battle for Black Lives Matter, we fight back with violence but acts like that. Black guys on the movement, which makes Black Lives Matter. At cops and cops matter, that's why it's at a stalemate and can't arrive at a compromise, so it's black ops. I wonder if we hire more black cops, the crap stops.
That's exactly what I was just saying right now. There was a lot of anger and animosity in the first Black Lives Matter movement, and that caused violence, so it put a black eye on the movement. And because it put a black eye on the movement, it made black people, it made them more angry for the fact that they weren't being taken seriously. And that's why it was at a stalemate back in 2016, 2017, because everybody was mad, so no voices were getting heard, you know? And he said, I wonder if we hire more black cops, the crap stops. All that reminds me of is the scene from Boys in the Hood when they get pulled over by the black officer, and then the black officer is being more degrading to them, maybe not more, but is definitely being just as degrading to them as the white officer. And even if it's at the same level as the white officer, that makes the black officer's action even worse because he should understand, he should be seen as someone who's going to provide change in the way that the police forces look at black men. But instead, he joined forces with those same police because he feels like he's better than them with the badge on.
Black cops, the crap stops. The block is our backyards, officers, not the crack spot. Call the attack dogs off of us, man, you always act all pissed off, but it's at a traffic stop. And bad cops fuck it up for the good cops, and man, stop sending white cops in the black neighborhoods who ain't acclimated to them like that's the way to do it. Who seen some fucking videos of rappers waving guns and know nobody black, so they act afraid of us. And that's racism, the fear that a black face gives them, a subconscious racist. Wait, why are there black neighborhoods? Cause America segregated us.
Yo, he just fucking spitting facts this entire... Oh, I fucked up. What did I do? I went all the way back to the beginning. Whoops. He's just spitting facts the entire time, bro. He's saying you always seem all pissed off at us during traffic stops only because you have that deep internal anger, or you have like that anger that you might not even know is there. You might not even realize that you're doing this. And why are they even sending white cops into black neighborhoods when that's automatically gonna cause friction? Because the black cops know nothing about the culture of black neighborhoods. They know nothing about these families or the way they're brought up or the socio-economic hurdles that they have to jump through and go around. He's basically saying the only thing that a white police officer knows about the hood is what he sees on TV, and what he sees on TV is rappers waving guns around. So that already puts him in a mentally defensive state, like he's fearing for his life before he even meets the person that he stopped. And he's saying that's basically what constitutes a subconscious racist, because he doesn't even know he's being racist, but he is. And why is there even black neighborhoods to begin with? It's because America segregated us. Like, there should be no such thing as a black neighborhood, and there should be no such thing as a Latino neighborhood. Everybody should just be mixed in the way that everybody needs to be mixed, but it's not that way, and it's never been that way. He's spitting some real facts right here, and like I said, the production is one of the reasons why it didn't go over so well, or no one heard him.
Wait, why are there black neighborhoods? Cause America segregated us, designated us to an area, separated us, sectionated us. When we tear it up, the only time attention's paid to us. And education sucks, and every day's another Freddie Gray for us. A levee breaks a fuzz. Why is it they treat us like dry lint? We just want a safe environment for our kids, but can't escape the sirens. Don't take a scientist to see our violent nature lies in the poverty that we face. So the crime rates the highest in the lowest classes. It's like a razor wire fence.
Yo, I literally just said that right before that you cannot deny that violence and violent crimes happen in lower wealth neighborhoods below the poverty line or at the poverty line. Is just the facts of life. That's where crime happens. And he's basically saying that nobody even pays attention to us only when there's crime that's happening. So that gives people the opportunity to say, hey, Sharon, look, they're at it again. Those blacks in the projects, they're tearing shit up. They don't want to better themselves. And that's the predisposition that people have in their head, not knowing that it's almost impossible for people to better themselves. It's almost impossible for people to get the education to make it out of the hood. But then you get the select few black people that do make it out of the hood, that go on to be surgeons or go on to be world-renowned scientists, and then people take them and make them their one example of like, look, he did it, so anybody can do it. That's not the case. He did it because all the stars were aligned perfectly at that moment in time when he was born to allow him to beat the odds. But the hood is like Las Vegas Boulevard. It's as daunting as it is because of the fact that people normally don't beat the odds.
It's like a razor wire fence we're trapped in. These racial biases that plague our society, which makes our anxiety levels raise every time we see a devil's face. Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. It's more like billy clubs and gats, and we really love it when you think we're guilty cause we're black. But you kill each other, facts, you peel each other's caps for silly stuff like hats. Single mother struggling through substance abuse.
See, that's what he's talking about right there. He's talking about the fact that they only see what's going on in the hood because it's violence going on in the hood, and violence sells, and violence makes the news, and it's a hot button topic that's easy to get views on media. And that gives the opportunity for people to say, but y'all kill each other over things like hats and shoes and colors of articles of clothing and blocks that don't belong to you. Like, how do you expect us to respect you and where you come from when you do that? And then on the flip side of the coin, the people are in the hood are like, how do you expect us to get out of that life whenever you expect us to get out of that life when you don't know how hard it is to get out of that life? So it's just like a constant circle in terms of like what people think about the hood versus what people are living in the hood.
Single mother struggling through substance abuse while people with nothing to lose shoot each other for shoes. Fuck your Republican views, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. What the fuck are the boots? And streets act as a narrative. Don't gotta read comics or be that into characters. Just to see that, just to be black, you better be strapped with a Derringer or be Captain America like Steve Rogers. Cause no one oversees these cops, and all we see is some beat charges. We done seen them beat Rodney King unconscious and got off, so we don't need all you crooked police officers' peace offerings.
Yo, he's fucking fire, and he's like right on point. He's saying the streets act as a narrator to our lives, and in order to be black, you gotta pack a Derringer, which again is another fucking word that most people don't even know is. When most people think of Derringer, they think of like the old school ones that you gotta put the ball in and fucking load it and all that and then fire. It's a term that evolved over time to just mean like a small pistol. So you gotta carry a pistol or be Captain America. Bro, like Captain America, the comic, and he's talking about how you don't gotta read comics. But to be Captain America, like to be shot, like you put a cap in that ass, that's a bar, bro. Like what the fuck? And again, we're angry and we're frustrated, and it stems all the way back to the first Rodney King, you know, police brutality, and they got off on that. That's what caused the initial riots in Las Vegas, and they caused the initial riots in Los Angeles.
We done seen him beat Rodney King unconscious and got off, so we don't need all you crooked police officers' peace offerings. Just keep marching till we reach Congress. But they're gonna say you're trying to take an irrational stance if you try to slander the flag, but somebody has to be the sacrificial lamb, so they call it a Kaepernick tantrum if you don't stand for the national anthem. We raise it, you better praise it, or you'll be made to feel like a traitor will. Treat you like Rodney Dangerfield, home of the bravest still, Racersville, so this whole nation feels like a plantation field in a country that claims it is.
Oh my fucking God. I could have went on for the rest of the song probably without pausing it, because he was just gonna go off on one rhyme scheme for the rest of the song about the catch-22 that black people are in. And he basically saying that Colin Kaepernick sacrificed himself as the sacrificial lamb, as the guinea pig when he knelt, and that gave people a very sour taste in their mouth, because they were like, oh, you're kneeling during the national anthem, you're saying fuck America, you're saying fuck the troops. To be honest, that's what I thought originally. I was like, it's mad disrespectful to kneel toward the flag, but at the same time, I was like, that's his constitutional right that the people are fighting overseas to defend. He can do whatever he wants. If anything, someone who's in the United States Armed Forces, whether currently active, a reserve, a vet, they should feel proud. Yes, they might feel a little uneasy inside, but they should feel proud that he even has that right, that they fought for that right in order to be able to kneel toward our nation. Kaepernick made the stance like very clear at the very beginning. I'm not kneeling about the United States. I'm kneeling about the injustices that happen in the United States. And it's so crazy to hear those initial Colin Kaepernick interviews now, especially after the killing of Mr. George Floyd. It's like you're seeing somebody so far ahead of their time when you look back on those interviews in 2016 and 17. It's just crazy. He said home of the brave, which is the United States, still feels like Racersville, so the whole nation feels like Plantation Field. Obviously, that's taking it to the extreme, but sometimes you have to go to those extremes in order to be hurt.
This whole nation feels like a plantation field in a country that claims that its foundation was based on United States ideals that had its natives killed. Got you singing this star-spangled spiel to a piece of cloth that represents a land of the free that made people slaves to build.
That whole last part, bro, just everything that he's saying right there. I'm just gonna read it off. In a country that claims that the foundation was based on the United States ideals, where everybody has the right to an opportunity at the pursuit of happiness. Those are the United States ideals, but those United States ideals that had its natives killed, talking about Native Americans, they got you singing to the Star-Spangled Spiel, like your spiel, like you're just reciting nonsense. Instead of Star-Spangled Banner, Star-Spangled Spiel to a piece of cloth that represents the land of the free that made people slaves to build. Yo, to end it on that fucking bar right there. First off, that's a fucking bar. And second off, it's the land of the free that was built by slaves. Like that's something that people probably never even realize. Or they realize, obviously, people know that the nation was built on the backs of slaves. But no one probably ever put together that we call ourselves the land of the free. But we're only the land of the free. We're only as powerful of a nation. We're only the #1 importer-exporter in the world. Economically, the highest strength country on the face of this earth. We're the land of the free. All that was only possible because we made people slaves in order to build that greatness, in order to build that wealth. Yo, that song right there, bro. Now I know why people are saying the shit's hella relevant. And again, I'm glad that it's going noticed now. I'm glad people are reacting to it, like myself, giving it another chance. But I still hate the production. The production is obviously one of the biggest reasons why this song was just like under the radar. This production, along with the other production choices on the album, is what put this album as one of the lowest ones in Eminem's catalog, when it had some of the best lyrical content that he's ever produced. The song is just a genius representation of the relationship between black people and the projects in the hood and white police officers, or police officers in general. You know what I mean? But yo, that's the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see, like the video, leave a comment, all that shit I always say. If you like the video enough, please consider subscribing, because this video is mad long, and if you got to this point, I'm sure that means you liked it enough to even listen to this point. So if you like the analytical breakdowns and the feedback and all that, subscribe, because that's how we do it around here. Follow your boy on Instagram and on Twitter at TheThirdErnest, just like the channel, links in the description. Hit up the Discord. You want to talk to me and other people that are sub to this channel, channel. We got a nice little community going over there on Discord. And that pretty much brings us to the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. And like I always say at the very end, go out there in the world, love and care for one another, love and care for each other. I'll catch everybody on the next video. Peace.